in now.
Here, let me get on the side of you.
Welcome, everybody, to Harbor Discussions. We're here outside the Shamrock Inn in Baltimore with NYC Shootout.
Boop, 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 boop.
Quickly introduce yourself by your name and role in the band.
I'm Morty Shootout, also known as Chris Martin, and I'm the vocalist.
My name's Sam, or Jeff in some circles, especially if you're a Taco Bell employee.
My name's Christian. Some call me Bugs. I play guitar.
Cool. And do y'all want to quickly shout out the other bands that you're in or a part of?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of time for that. we got
take up most of the interview.
we got so shout out Pink Mist that played tonight.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Stabbed that our boy here is in. Shout out Blame God.
Blame God.
Shout out Total Invasion, right?
Total Invasion.
Yeah.
Exsanguinated.
Shout out Big Will.
Yep. Chastity. What else?
Flatline.
Flatline.
We got
Bowel Erosion.
No Unity.
No
Whole
Unity.
lot of shit.
Shout out No Unity. Music coming soon.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
Awesome. So
That's a couple of them.
is everybody here from Long Island originally? 516?
516 or 631.
516-631 over here.
Okay, so just give a little explanation of what it's like in the area you're from and just, what your upbringing's like in that area generally.
So basically, where I'm from Port Jeff, which is a town in Suffolk County. It's kind of like a chill, it's not like crazy. Like some blocks are bad, some blocks are good, it's pretty, it's like the average, suburban shit,
Suburbs, but it's based.
Yeah, the suburbs, but it's based, exactly.
I
And
gotcha.
I feel like we're kind of from the similar area. He's from Middle Island, I'm from Port Jeff, so kind of close, like 10-minute drive, so same kind of upbringing, I'd say.
Definitely.
And then,
Yeah,
I don't know about Nassau, yo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from a little further west, closer to the city. I feel like it's a little bit more like Queens. It's a little more congested. Like Suffolk County's a little more spread out, which I happen to like about it. But it's cool. I mean, I can't really. Long Island in general, I can't think of a better place to like grow up and just especially being into music. But like,
If it was cheaper, it'd be a lot better, but it's basically, other than the price, it's the perfect place to grow up.
Exactly. I mean, I guess there's a reason it's expensive, right? A lot of
Yeah,
people
man.
want to live there, so. Yeah.
Mad
Long
bass,
Island's
son.
Dope. Shout out Long Island. 516-631.
Real shout out Long Island, New York hardcore.
Facts.
Oh yeah, I had a couple questions about Pink Mist, just some samples and stuff like that. Well, also the name Pink Mist, it comes from the mist when someone gets shot in the head, right?
That is a fact, yes.
So where'd you hear that term for the first time, and just kind of how did that become the band name? Is there?
We got Logan
So-
over here, or?
Yeah, he's all the way inside, but if you can get him, if we can get Logan added into this interview, that'd be based. But so basically I can't speak specifically, but I do know that our vocalist Logan, he's in the U.S. Marines.
Okay.
And so I think he just heard that term thrown around and was like, yo, that would be sick. You know what I mean? And they kind of like a light bulb went off moment,
I got you. I'm assuming he would answer most of the Pink Mist questions.
Yeah,
right?
I actually just joined like this week.
I got you.
I know most of their lore though, because I've been
Okay.
friends with them for a long time.
Deep in other conversations.
Yeah, and he's
No
drunk
worries.
too. So.
Yeah. So
Look at it. It's dope.
I'll skip some of that, and we'll see if he comes in. And
Okay,
if not,
cool.
we'll circle back. So.
And I'll introduce you, worst case.
Yeah. So, also, you want to tell the people about Lil Humpty?
Yeah, so Lil Humpty is basically a side project that me and Gord here and his older brother Renzo, shout out Lorenzo LaRosa.
Shout out Renzo, my brother, and Lil.
Yeah, so Lil Humpty was basically just kind of me listening to Juice WRLD and being like, damn, it sucks he died. We should make Juice WRLD worship the same way a band would be like, yeah, we should make Marauder worship, So we kind of like went through YouTube beats. There's this, shout out Sagi Mora, who makes the beats on YouTube. He's my main producer. I've actually been in contact with him on YouTube, so shout out him. And we just kind of would just do it for fun, and then came out dope.
Do you ever see it going more serious? or-
Nah, I think
You ended it, right?
yeah. So basically, it's kind of a done project, but there will be I'll give a little news on the upcoming Shootout record. There is a Humpty track on the Shootout record.
Posthumous release.
Gotcha.
Posthumous release of Lil Humpty.
Gotcha. Cool. So for NYC Shootout, I saw it was a post where it was like, E-Town Concrete helps with my anxiety and whatnot. So
That's
obviously
the biggest facts ever.
Obviously they're an influence. If you want to talk about how they and some other bands influence y'all.
I mean, so with E-Town, when I was getting into hardcore, I kind of listened to a bunch of different stuff that was more on the metal side and more on the punk side, the traditional type of stuff, and I couldn't find really what I liked. I just knew I liked certain things from both. And then I was always a huge hip hop head growing up. That was like what I liked first. I liked rap before anything else.
Gotcha.
So hearing like, and I like Limp Bizkit and stuff like that, but like obviously it's a little more corny and radio adjacent. It's not a bad thing. Limp Bizkit fucks. Don't get me wrong, folks.
Yeah.
But I think I need it. Like if I want something like that, I want it to be more like legit and real. And then I hear "Time to Shine," with him and our vocalist of Flatline, Ruben, showing us it. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So like,
Shine is just like a 10 out of 10 record.
Yeah, like if you're just trying to get into hardcore and you're a rap fan and you have no idea how to get into hardcore, listen to E-Town Concrete, Time to Shine, and then right after E-Town Concrete, The Second Coming.
The Second Coming,
To like,
the Renaissance.
basically listen to their whole discography, bro.
War's fucking bass
Just listen to their whole discography. Watch the This Is Hardcore 2017 set or 18 set it was.
And listen to Agents of Man too.
Yeah, Agents of Man as well. It's SmackDown versus Raw metalcore made by Mike Bulldoze. So that's awesome.
Hell yeah. All right, so we'll talk now about the Shoot Your Shot release. That was the debut, correct?
Yeah.
So
and it was released through Hard Knock.
Yeah, Hard Knock Records. Shout
Yeah,
out
talk
Tony
about
Hard
them.
Knock. So basically in 2020, it was early 2020, right before COVID, and they were kind of just jamming like during like right before quarantine or like this maybe the week of, and they were just getting drunk jamming some shit like at the studio. I think it was Scherze and Doug.
Yeah, it was our boy Scherze, who's not in the band anymore. Our boy Doug, who's still in the band. He's just in Japan right now. Shout out Doug. We were just jamming a couple different ideas in our boys' studio, Rock and Roll Gas Station, and we just kind of got really drunk and made like 4 or 5 songs in one night, and then we were like, "Yo, this shit's hard. We got to put it out. We got to find the right vocalist." And then we hit up our boy Morty here, and we also hit up our boy Jimmy, who didn't end up being on the record, but
Shout out Jimmy. Listen to Life Taken.
Listen to Life Taken.
Skate Party Drink.
Skate Party Drink.
Shout out Life Taken. Real Long Island hardcore for all you new heads. You're gonna love it. Jimmy's an old head.
Where does the name NYC Shootout come from? Also, I've seen like the cover art they all use is definitely gnarly as fuck. If you want to talk about like the references to the cover art and if that has to do with the name at all?
It does. To be honest, I can't tell you where the album art came from. Someone that is not involved in the band made it and just kind of gave it to us.
So it was like a generated image.
I mean, it's not AI. It's like an actual image.
Right,
But,
okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Like someone just found it and like the layout just looked hard. NYC Shootout, the name. We were, me and Doug were driving to a gig that our band Blame God was playing in Syracuse, and we were just talking about, like, when you're younger and, like, you might be in, like, middle school or something, you're just talking, like, you kind of, like, talk about bands, but you're, like, kind of too young to, like, really even do anything. Like, we were just talking about, like, what our bands were called at that time, and I don't even remember which one of us said it, because there was, like, 4 or 5 of us in the car, but, someone said NYC Shootout, and we were just like, "Yo, that just sounds like a hard ass name for like that's like E-Town Concrete. It's just like a hard ass name." So that's just what we went with, and it's like we're not. Yeah, it works. It's like none of us are from NYC. We're not claiming that. I always tell people it's like you're going to New York City from Long Island, and you're about to shoot the place up.
I got you. So for Shoot, who writes for the band?
Lyrically or musically?
Lyrically.
That we got the lyrical miracle.
Yeah, so basically when they were jamming the initial instrumentals and they were hitting up other people, our boy Jimmy, as much as we love him, couldn't get back on time with the messages, so they were eventually like, I guess he's not doing it, so let's hit up someone else. And, my name came up. They sent it to me, and I don't think they initially thought it was going to be like rapping and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had no idea, honestly. Yeah, straight up.
And I just like literally heard it, and like there was the in the song NYC Shootout, there's a like a dun dun dun, and I heard that, I'm like, that's rap. That's a fucking rap beat. So, and actually there's another song on it called Darkened Inside of My Own Mind. And that song, me and him actually co-wrote it for a different band that never got done.
Okay.
It was called Trapped in Hell, which ended up becoming a Flatline song. But basically, me and him saw the Dark Side of the Ring Chris Benoit episode. And just seeing like Chris Benoit in his last moments right before he allegedly murdered his wife and kid. And I was just like, that's kind of like a fucked up like getting like inside the mind of somebody like that. I was like, that's cool. So we want to do that kind of like inspired by Neglect.
Okay.
And we just kind of like put those two thoughts together and wrote Dark in it, and like, yeah, it just became the song it is.
And obviously musically, that's just E-Town. That's just
Yeah,
E-Town
yeah.
right there. Yeah.
I feel like to recap your question and like what the answer was that the first Shootout record, Shoot Your Shot, that record, it was really a result of what was going on at the time with everybody personally in the band. Like
Okay.
that artwork, that was like something that was very popular at the time. That was a mob hit photo on the artwork.
Okay.
And then you throw like the logo over and it looks hard. That was mad popular at the time.
Yeah.
And then the music, that was something that like, everybody thought was hard at the time, especially Sam and everybody that had something to do with it. And for the lyrics, that was what Morty was fucking with. And we were inspired by shit that we were, kind of putting in front of ourselves at that time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Lots of drugs.
Yeah.
That's
I love drugs.
I want to talk about these lyrics. You ain't my friend, punk. Don't get it twisted. Better know my name, punk. We'll eat you alive. I was curious, like, does the term, well, like, obviously, there's punk as far as, like, metal and stuff like that, but, as far as calling someone, like, you a punk, does that come from anywhere?
That's just more like, I'm a big, like, Pantera guy.
Okay.
I love Pantera, and, like, he always had, like, like, fucking better not walk my way, boy, like, stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
I just like that kind of hard, like, I'm going to fucking threaten you, but I don't even have to curse to threaten you. I'm just going to intimidate the fuck out of you. And I just
gotcha.
like that kind of like, get the fuck away from me, punk.
It's
you
like
fucking,
an insult straight out of like Popeye the Sailor Man, but it's just
Yeah.
hard.
The oldies do not disappoint folks.
Yeah.
It's a good
They're
way. It's
classic
good to
for a
go
reason.
old school for an insult.
And there was another post, because I like to go through the posts and stuff like that, for Darkened, where it was Tony Soprano driving, and it was like when
that was
Darkened
me.
hits.
That was me.
So yeah, just talk about the Sopranos and like other shows that inspire you.
Where
and stuff
do
like
I
that.
start? So, I think during COVID, everyone kind of got locked up, and they were all at the house, just going through the streaming apps, trying to go through the motions of their day.
Yeah.
And I think the Sopranos caught this weird, like, flack of popularity out of nowhere because everyone was kind of just forced to be on their streaming apps, and they're like, oh, what best shows to binge watch? Sopranos.
Right.
Oh, let me check that out. And then I think this whole new generation of kids that are like my age, like 21, 20 at that time, that are getting into like, like mob movies like Goodfellas and Casino, they watch this and they're like,
Yeah.
this is a crazy take, because for us, it's like we grew up as kids during that time period, and like you were like a teenager during that time period, more like AJ in the show's age and shit like that. Not exactly, but you know what I mean.
I remember my parents were watching that like while it was like on in its
shit.
original run. Hey
The
yo,
guest has arrived.
hey yo,
Hell
you
yeah.
feel regular, bud, or what?
I'm feeling regular, yeah. What's this? This microphone?
Yeah.
Hold on, bud. He's had a couple.
Oh yeah, Sopranos.
But yeah, Sopranos. I feel like during COVID, during that initial like lockdown, everyone was kind of on their streaming apps and finding the Sopranos, and I feel like we resonated with it because me, Gordo over here, Christian, we all grew up as kids in the 2000s. So I feel like watching that is kind of like a good, like, if you kind of have this weird nostalgia
to it, yeah.
that like it feels like you can relate yourself to the family aspect of the show, and then obviously the storyline and the mob stuff. But I feel like the mob stuff resonates with hardcore very well. You see it,
Yeah, definitely.
shout out Painted Truth, shout out Mike, shout out Nick, everybody. Like they, use Soprano samples in their stuff. Like
Yeah.
I think that's just I think anybody that likes hardcore likes mob movies. I think that's just the thing.
Definitely, and like with Baltimore, Omar gets referenced a lot from The Wire.
You're gonna like the
and
Shootout
that.
record if you like The Wire. I'll say that. There's a
Hell
couple
yeah.
samples in there, bud.
Fuck yeah, endless samples possibilities.
I'm a sample guy. I'm a big
Definitely.
gimmick guy.
Hell yeah. So we got
Gimmick
the
set.
vocalist of Pink Mist here now, right?
Yeah, Logan. Logan, bud, you got an interview to do now.
I just got a couple notes, little references I picked up. So we were talking about where the term Pink Mist comes from. If you want to
Absolutely,
talk about
brother.
that,
What do you want to know?
just kind of what made you choose the name.
I'm an infantry marine. Pink mist is either one of two things. It's when you were shot at a certain distance by a sniper and your head explodes out of the back of your head, or you step on an IED and your body is non-existent.
Gotcha.
So that's pink mist.
And
If you've ever seen Jarhead, they talk about it in there.
okay, is that where you had heard it for the first time, or?
Honestly, no. I mean, I saw the movie before I went in, but I never really picked up on that. And then
I
we
gotcha.
would just say it all the time at boot camp and shit. And then we were like, oh, this is a hard ass name, and no one's got the name.
Or something for the first
Yeah, I've seen. I want to
Yeah.
say I can't remember if it's a song.
It's in it's in Halo. It's a Halo achievement. In Halo 3,
okay.
if you get enough needler kills in a multiplayer game, the announcer's like, "Fear the pink mist." No, I wanted to use it. I can't find it anywhere.
Gotcha. And on No Question, I wanted
Absolutely.
to talk about the sample at the very beginning.
Absolutely.
Where it was, you dirty old bitch.
Yes,
New
sir.
Girl.
It's from New Girl.
So yeah, I was shocked when I like looked that sample up, and I was like, "That's from New Girl." So do you want to talk about like, did you come across it somewhere? Have you watched the show and then come across it?
I dated this girl,
Okay.
and we broke up. But like 6 months later, she hits me up out of the blue. She sends me that clip and goes, "Yeah, you should use this for your band as a sample." And I was like, "Yeah, hard, received. I got that." And then like we wrote the song. Like 6 months later, I was like, "Yeah, this one. No one's used this shit yet. It's perfect. Like,
It
let's
is
do
perfect,
it. Let's
yeah.
do it."
And that song also features The Raid, right?
It does the raid.
Yeah, do you wanna
Tyler,
talk about
he's
that?
here somewhere. He's here
Yeah,
somewhere.
just quickly talk about
Yeah.
who they are and whatnot.
Raid is like the best man ever. We're basically we came up playing shows with them and shit. At this point, Pigmas and Raid are almost the same lineup.
I got you.
Minus one or two people. Like the drummer from Raid is our full-time drummer now.
Okay.
Our guitarist from Pigmas is their bassist now. It's basically the same lineup, and we have like a million other side projects we're all in it together. But like those are the top tier homies, you know what I mean? Those are
I
our
gotcha.
boys.
And on the song Belt Fed Justice, there was a Modern Warfare 2 sample, right?
Yes, sir. Captain Price.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2, 2009.
Is that the best? Is that the best Call of Duty? Do you think?
It's Modern Warfare 2 or it's Black Ops 1? Oh, no, wait. Black Ops 2 2012. Black Ops 2 2012, amazing. Amazing.
Was there a significance to that character that made you choose that, or was it just a line you heard and you're like, "That's hard"?
Yeah, we were drinking and we were like, no one ever samples COD. Why don't people sample Modern Warfare like it's based? And we were like, this fits the song. Let's find a Captain Price sample. And we were looking on YouTube at like Captain Price best quotes. And then we found that one. We were like, this is the one.
Gotcha. And then it's Hemorrhage featuring the Comeuppance, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, talk about them as well.
So
I like to
that's
shout out all the bands that I can.
literally just Pigmas and Raid in a different configuration.
Okay.
With our very good friend Nate, who runs Bad Idea Collective, books on Long Island. So
Talk
Nate and
about
I,
what that is
yeah.
as well, because I
So-
do have a note about them.
Nate and I run Bad Idea and do all the booking together. Grace helps too. She does most of the art and helps out with booking too. The
Okay.
three of us run that, but it's like mainly his baby. It's his thing. He promotes with that, and that's his hardcore band. So
Okay.
it's our bassist and guitarist from Pink Mist, and then the guitarist and drummer from Raid as the lineup.
Cool. You want to talk about the Amityville Music Hall?
Yeah, we like it. It's good. It's a good venue. It's a good space. It's not Shaker's Pub.
Yes.
We love
talk
Shaker's
about
Pub.
Shaker's Pub as well.
Yes, you can.
'Cause as I understand, it's a very significant spot.
Legendary.
Yeah, so let me put some love on Nika real quick from Shakers. She absolutely is a fucking gem of a person, because any other venue owner that sees the shit that goes down at Hard Knock record shows would never allow you to even fucking step in there to
What
drink
kind of shit
on a
are we
busy
talking
night.
about here?
Fights, fucking
But let's just
drugs.
say Nika is the type of person that if there's a puddle of blood on the floor, she's mopping it up with a smile on her face, laughing.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's the type of woman that if there's a fight at a show and it gets near the bar, she's hopping over the bar with a baseball bat and she's going, "Get the fuck out." So, I mean, she knows how to handle herself and she knows how to handle beatdown hardcore shows. So, like,
And she
she's the reason that we do
understands
this.
that, like, the people that are booking the shows are not necessarily responsible. I mean, it's like we are, but at the same time, it's like, if she sees a fight go down, she's like, "Oh, those two people are the problem."
Yeah,
It's
and
not-
her-
it's not shows, period. You know, what I mean?
Her
It's
ideology
good that she
is
understands.
Yeah.
egos are big, especially in hardcore. Take it the fuck outside and get it the fuck out of my business so we don't get shut down.
Definitely.
That's all it is. She doesn't want to get shut down because she wants to keep doing it. So shout out Nika. Shout out John Scanlon, though, and shout out AMH. You know, he does a lot for the scene as well. And we'd be remiss to not, mention him. But we kind of mostly do our business, for the most part, at Shakers, but all love to AMH as well.
I gotcha. That was pretty much all of the notes that I had as far as Pink Mist goes. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to the interview? Any shout outs, any announcements, anything?
We have a new lineup. It's pretty sick. Morty's our second guitarist now. right here.
Yo,
We're writing an album.
This on Hard Knock Records, right?
We put out an EP on Hard Knock Records and did a lot of merch and CDs and shit with them. And we love Tony and we love Hard Knock and we love Shakers.
Shout out Tony.
And we love.
Talk about a good boy.
Let's just run down. Oh yeah, Tony's a very good boy. He's a very good guy. He's a very good moral guy, and he likes jiu-jitsu. And we'll run down the Long Island list of bands that are awesome real quick.
Okay.
NYC
I do have
Shootout,
some
No
notes
Unity,
for,
Stabbed, Exsanguinated, Malbolgia, Iridian. I said it already. Stop. Raid, Comeuppance, Hospital Bomber, High Reach, Private Mind. I'm forgetting all the other ones.
I'll cover
You keep going.
I'll cover the rest when we're done with our questions, bud.
Yeah, so for NYC Manhunt, I wanted to talk about a Tyson hook to your punk ass will make you sleep, and just like the whole boxing influence that came from that.
So I'm actually not a huge boxing guy. I just love smoking weed and going on YouTube with, again, Tony from Hard Knock Records.
Okay.
We grew up, went to high school together, graduated together, and he started, Hard Knock. And our favorite thing to do is to go to our practice space, think of cool shows, think of cool releases, whatever. We'll watch Mike Tyson versus Mike Tyson full fight, smoke
Watching
weed.
his original run of when he was undefeated for however long, it's literally just watching a demon fucking step into the ring.
Honestly, I think he's a really good dude to listen to podcast wise. Like he has a hot boxing with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And I think his podcast is really good because he kind of not to be the corny Instagram reel motivational guy, but he says some shit that you're like, I gotta get my shit together, you know what I mean? Because you hear him and the shit he's been through, and you know what I mean?
Plus he had
Definitely.
Hasbulla on, so shout out my boy.
Yeah, shout out Hasbulla for real. Yo, Hasbulla, if you're watching this,
Come on,
come to the
Harvard
U.S.
Discussions.
We're gonna bring you on a run.
Hell yeah. You want to talk about VXS, Violence and Suffering?
Oh hell yeah, man! Shout out Isaac Rodriguez of VXS. He runs it out. Where's he run it out of? It's in the city. I know that.
Well, he's based out of Brooklyn, but they mostly run shows in Jersey, New York City,
Cali.
Florida, Cali. Yeah, honestly, it's just one of the most based indie wrestling promotion going right now. He puts on for a lot of younger, up and coming guys, and he brings back this feeling in wrestling that existed in the 90s and 2000s by having bands play a band such as that.
Yeah,
it's not even about putting us on. It's just the vibe of having a band like a hardcore band or a metal band play a wrestling show. It's in the mainstream. It's that's definitely gone to the wayside in the last decade. So it's he's bringing back the glory to shout out a Baltimore legend right there.
Yeah.
Isaac is bringing back the glory with Violence and Suffering.
And just to add on to that, what I love about what Isaac does with VXS is he tries to do the fan service, which is I like the fact that he doesn't cheap out on his booking. He won't do a show if he doesn't think it's good. And I think his editing, I like the fact that he's so involved in his own company. He does the editing, he writes the shows, he books the matches. He really is the creative force behind that, and he definitely has a Paul Heyman mentality when it comes to running his business, which I can respect the fuck out of, except he actually pays people. But, VXS, and again, even with that, having us perform, we were able to hang out backstage with fucking professional wrestling legends, and we're just drinking.
JTG,
Yeah, shout out JTG, Low Key, shout out Nick motherfucking Gage,
shout out
MDK.
Grim Reefer.
Shout out Grim Reefer for real.
Shout out Gabe Sky.
Matt Tremont, AJ Gray. But yeah, man, the whole VXS crew, everybody that works behind the scenes that doesn't get the love, shout out everybody that works on VXS. And, we're
Shout out MLJ.
for real, shout out MLJ. And for real, just shout out, that whole fucking crew, because, they were they showed nothing but love. They could have been dickheads. They weren't.
Having Nick Gage walk up to you and look you in the eyes and shake your hand and tell you that your set is dope, it hits different than when. I mean, obviously, I'm grateful for anyone that likes,
of course,
our sets, but for someone like that's not even in the music realm to come up to you and say some shit like that. It's it's wild.
Yeah, and it's just it's definitely a trip to be able to say I played a show in which JTG from Crime Time from WWE wrestled on, and then we were just chilling in the back smoking weed after. It's a cool fucking story to have, and talking to just random legends Too Cold Scorpio. Julius Smokes. For real, shout out Julius Smokes, the best edible cookie I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
For real, selling the good shit after the shows.
All right, this is my final note. I had a special viewer ask.
Oh,
He
okay.
specifically said, ask about hookers and cocaine. That was it.
I don't do business on live, but what I will say is shout out the service. You know who you are. And if you have a little bag from the grocery store that you bought that has things in it, I wouldn't mind taking a little toot or two at the show. So if you're at a show and NYC Shootout's playing, little key bump, you know what to bring. And don't be a cop about it. Don't be weird.
Shout out
Let me
Jake
just
for
say
that
this.
question.
If you were a fan of the service, just wait until the album drops.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say on that.
All right, that was it. That's all I had. If y'all just want to say anything else to wrap it up.
For real, shout out Tony of Hard Knock Records again. Shout out Nate of Bad Idea. Shout out Mike and Oscar and Xavier and everybody from Gooned Up. Shout out literally anybody that comes to Hard Knock shows and supports. Shout out, our core bands like, Recipe Sprawl, Flatline, Malbolgia, Pink Mist, everybody, man. Like, for real, just shout out the whole fucking team. We're killing it. We're doing it. We're out here. We outside with it. Knuckleheads, you already know.
Hell yeah. I appreciate y'all's time.
Of course.